The next up is Madison Paton, and her presentation is Breaking the Wall of Brain Injury in Preterm Babies.
Thank you. Nearly 10% of all of us were born too early, or what doctors refer to as preterm. And you can almost guarantee that if you were born preterm, you were exposed to a challenge when you were still developing in the womb. And these challenges might be infection or inflammation. And it can mean that once you are born, you're at greater risk of a brain injury or a lifelong disability, something like cerebral palsy. Now, cerebral palsy might mean that you're confined to a wheelchair for the rest of your life. It may also mean that you never get to communicate with your loved ones or friends. And unfortunately, there is no therapy to protect the developing brain, and there is no cure.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, who are you?
I'm Lab Madison. Can't you tell? And I've heard you practicing. I just love the idea of how you're really breaking the wall of brain injury. Can I help give the presentation?
Sure, but do you know the information?
Oh yeah, I've got this.
Okay.
So as presenter Madison said, there is no treatment for the brain after a baby's been born too early and exposed to inflammation. But she's got just the thing.
That's right. I'm developing a new stem cell therapy.
So we take placentas from healthy deliveries and isolate the stem cells from the umbilical cord. You see, we can't use stem cells from a preterm baby's own placenta as they may have been compromised by infection and they are often born too small.
So instead, we're developing a new off-the-shelf therapy.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So this off-the-shelf therapy means that when a baby is born preterm, exposed to infection and at risk of lifelong neurological problems, we can treat with a stem cell that we know would be ideal in this scenario. And it's stored from healthy placentas, ready to be administered.
And this ideal stem cell is an MSC, or what we call a mesenchymal stem cell.
These cells are strong anti-inflammatory mediators that have the potential to protect the brain from further injury and initiate repair.
So we're testing them in a preclinical model of brain injury. And next, it's Lab Maddie's job to see just how well they're working.
But so far, they seem really promising at reducing and even reversing brain injury.
So together, we're breaking the wall of brain injury in preterm babies.
You can have this back.
Thanks. And thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you, Madison.
Thanks.
Questions from the audience, please? Right here in the middle, please.
How are you proposing to deliver it?
Yep, so in our preclinical model, we deliver it IV, and that's how we would give it in the clinic. That's how often we actually deliver a lot of stem cell therapies, and a baby is given an IV line if they're born preterm or have to be admitted to NICU.
When you deliver the cells, are they likely to persist, and is there a chance that they may actually go down, say, an osteogenic lineage?
So these stem cells have a low engraftment rate, and what we're actually proposing is that they don't need to travel to the brain to have their effect in the brain, and that's the benefit of using a stem cell. We can give them it systemically, and they're down-regulating inflammation.
And a question from right over there.
Please, can you just tell us, I just want to know if there is side effect of the method that you use?
Mm-hmm. Any side effects of the stem cell therapy?
Yep.
Yep, so the good thing about an MSC is that they have a low immunogenicity, which means that normally you'd have, if you give a stem cell, a lot of proteins that your body might reject. But we're getting them from a source, which is actually from a placenta, so they're quite what we call naive. So they have a low rejection rate, and they don't have the proteins that our bodies would normally reject.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the discussion, and thank you, Madison.